Alright, so here's my Honda Fit. This is the rear tire, showing you the tire wear. Let's see, this car has what, 50, jeez, I'm not even sure how many miles it has, 50 something thousand miles, probably close to 55,000 miles. I put these wheels and tires on at 1,000 miles, so basically since the car was new, and it's coming to the end life of the tires, and I do rotate them, so all the tires actually have about the same type of wear, or the wear pattern is the same, I should say. So you see here, the threads on the inside, the rib on the inside, is actually newer. It's thicker here. The distance to the wear bar is further, whereas at the ribs and the on the ends, it's almost flush with the wear bar right here. Same with this side. But the outside, shoulder, the outside rib here, is more worn than the inside rib. So at first I thought it was just this car, this wheel setup I have, because this wheel setup I have, it's the aftermarket wheels, right? Aftermarket wheels, and these rims are 7 inches wide, so they're wider than factory rims. 7 inches wide, and the tire is a 195/60, versus the factory is 185/60. So it's a little bit. The rim is an inch wider, and the tire is 10 millimeters wider. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's the rim is, since it's wider in relation to the tire, it might be causing the tire to as it fits in there, because it's wider, it might cause the tire to because the rim is wider, it might cause the tire to bow in a way that the middle bows inwards. So that could be one explanation for more tire wear on the outside, right? Other thing is it could be tire pressure too. If you underinflate the tire pressure, it will wear more on the outside. Overinflate, it will wear more on the inside. And I think the tire pressure for this Honda recommends 33 psi for all 4 tires. I think for a long time I was using 30 psi, so I did have it underinflated by 33 psi. But actually, last night I actually was reading up on this. A lot of other people on the various fit forums had mentioned that all their tires on the outside wears out more than anywhere else. So mine is like that too. So it basically had to do with the geometry of the suspension and the alignment. So I was looking at the spec for the alignment for this car, and it shows that the front camber is basically at 0. So 0 means theoretically it's just flat. That's great for driving in a straight line, but when you're turning, it will put when the camber is at 0, it will actually put more load on the outside corner, so the outside corner will wear out faster. If you have a negative camber where the top of the wheel tilts inwards, that means the bottom of the wheel right here will actually have less load on it compared to the inside. But when you're cornering, the weight transfers to the outside, so that will actually even it out. So it will have more even wear if it has some negative camber. So I think that's probably the reason. And I don't think my alignment is off. It tracks. Even though it has 50 something thousand miles, it tracks. Everything feels fine. It tracks good, and it's spinning. It felt like that, the way it does ever since the car was new. So I think my alignment's probably okay. And these new cars nowadays, anyways, they don't have much. As far as the alignment numbers, you can't adjust them much, anyways. Especially with the cambers now, it's like there's hardly any adjustment to them at all in camber anymore. So anyways, so here's the wear. So So if it was, if it was worn out more evenly, I think these tires could last probably another, I don't know, maybe close to another 5,000 miles. But as is, they're basically, they're pretty much shot pretty soon, probably within 1,000 miles or so. For sure, it will be flush with the wear bar. Right here, it's almost flush. I mean, I'm running my fingernails across it, and I can still feel the outside rib here catch at the edge. That means it's not flush yet, but it's pretty close. It's like, it's like less than a millimeter for sure. Maybe half a millimeter or so. This side, on the other hand, is probably about a millimeter, and in here it's probably about 2 millimeters. So yeah, so I think if this thing was completely worn evenly, it probably would get an extra 5,000 miles where it's at right now. If this was like a little bit more worn out, but this was a little bit more life at the end where everything's even, I think it would probably get another 5,000. Anyways, I have some suspension stuff I just ordered just right now. I'm actually gonna order some sway bars and some underframe bracing up in the front, and also a road center lower ball joint front to change the road center, and it actually also gives it some negative chamber as well. I'm not sure how much negative chamber, but it should give it some, and that will actually make the tire, I think, hopefully with that road center change, the lower ball joint, it will actually wear more evenly, I think. But I won't know until I put that on and get new tires basically. So yeah, so that's the tire wear on the third generation Honda Fit. Honda, what is it called? What's the designation? GK, I think they call it. GK, yeah, GK Honda Fit. All right, thanks for watching.